Hey guys, so today I'm going to tell you my top 5 tips for becoming an auxiliar, or if you want to start teaching English abroad. If you're interested, stay tuned. There are many ways that you could teach English abroad. I right now am in the program Auxiliar de Conversacion. I think that's how you say it, but in that program in Spain. You could also do TEFL, which would allow you to teach English anywhere in the world, I believe, and that's a course that you can take to be TEFL certified, which is teaching English as a foreign language. I have friends who are TEFL certified, and I also have a couple of friends who have gone to Thailand, Southeast Asia, other parts of the world with their certificate to teach English, so that's also an option. Another option, and I have a friend who did this program in Madrid, so this is specifically for Madrid. It's CIEE, and that program allows you to teach English in Madrid, but that one does have an application fee and some other fees that go along with it. The application for the Auxiliar program was free, and so is the program. Well, you get paid for it, but you didn't have to pay any upfront fees. So that's why I chose this one. It was also ran by the government or the ministry, so it's more or less a government job in a way. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. My first tip to become an auxiliar would be to apply early. The application opens in January, and I would apply as close to the opening date as possible, because you do get placed in your region or city based on when you apply, when you turn in your application. So if you turn your application in, if you're one of the first people to get your application in, you are more likely to end up in your first choice, and if you are one of the last people to turn it in, you either won't get accepted or you won't get an area or city that you want. For example, I chose Madrid as my first choice. Barcelona or Catalonia was my second choice, and I just chose a random region for the third because there were 3 lists in my application. I'm not sure if it's the same for every country where you're applying from, but for the US there were 3 lists, and the first list had Madrid and Andalusia in the same list, and you can only choose one per list. So I wasn't able to choose Andalusia, but that would have been my second choice. But I ended up getting Valencia. That actually wasn't even an option on any of my lists, but I ended up in Valencia, and I'm pretty happy there. But I would have liked to be in Madrid and a bigger city. I'm in Benidorm. It has about 40,000 people, so it's not a pueblo, but you could get a huge city like Madrid or Barcelona, or you could end up in a pueblo with maybe 2,000 people. So you just really don't know. My second tip would be to join Facebook groups and read the blogs. So I didn't know Facebook groups for auxiliaries existed until I got to Spain. It would have been really helpful if I knew prior, because a lot of people got their information about the visa process, getting to the country, how to find apartments, finding roommates, and all of that through these Facebook groups. I had a really hard time finding people who were going to be in Benidorm. I actually ended up finding a list of last year's auxiliaries in Benidorm, and then finding them on Facebook and creepily messaging them, and then I ended up finding my roommates that way. But yeah, so you should definitely read the blogs. I read the blogs, but I didn't read them completely thoroughly, I guess, because I missed the part where I needed to get a visa, so I'll talk about that later. But also for this part, meeting other auxiliaries online through these groups and reading the blogs and about their experiences, because your experience can vary so much. That's important to ask firsthand. What was it like in this place if you're trying to move to that region or that city or work at a specific school, because even experiences at schools differ depending on if depending on the school, actually. Like, I have friends in Benidorm who have completely different experiences at their school than I do at mine. But yeah, it all varies. My third tip would be to make a deadline calendar for the application process. And this is really important, I think, because there are so many steps to the application, and some of them can take longer than others. Like, writing the essays might not take as long for some people, or might take longer for some people. Letters of recommendation, I definitely would say get those as early as possible, because once you have it, then you don't have to worry about getting that last minute and then that holding up your application. And also, there are legal documents that you need for your application, so make sure you're getting everything as soon as you can. So make that deadline calendar so you don't end up procrastinating at the end. Getting busy with school and work or anything can really throw you off and put you behind in your number, so you might not end up in the location that you really want to be in. My fourth tip is to research regions. Again, like I was saying before, this is important because you might think that you want to be in a certain region because you want to live. For example, I wanted to be in Madrid, but a lot of people are placed outside of Madrid. Like, their school might be 45 minutes of a commute from Madrid, because there's Madrid city, and then there's Madrid, the region, and there's also Valencia. Like, for example, I thought I was going to be in Valencia city, but I ended up being in Benidorm, which is in the state of Valencia. So experiences can really vary, and it's best to find out what it's like in a specific city if you're trying to move to that city, either transfer or get in for the first time to that city, what people think about it. My fifth tip is to get a visa. If you get accepted, immediately make your visa appointment. Visa appointments are pretty hard to come by. They fill up fast, and if you don't have a visa appointment, you're not getting your visa. And just so you know, it does take 2 to 4 weeks to get your visa, and they will keep and hold your passport. So they actually have my passport right now. I should be getting it in the mail any day, hopefully, because I have to leave in a few days. But yeah, just be prepared for that. Make sure you have all of your documents ready, and whether you call the police in Spain or talk to the program and they say you don't need a visa, you need a visa, because I was told by a lot of people that I did not need a visa. Look at me now. I'm back in the US, and I had to pay for my flights and it turned my world upside down, stop working for a month, and just come back here just to get my visa. So definitely get a visa as soon as you're accepted into the program, or for any other program that you're doing, TEFL, CIEE, whatever it is. Make sure you know your visa situation, because I have a friend who's doing a similar thing in Colombia, and she actually has to come back too because of visa problems. And I know another girl in Spain who's having visa problems, and our visa problems are all different, but they are very complicated and they're very strict. So before you leave the US or whatever country you're living in or moving to Spain from, make sure you have all of the documents necessary, FBI background check, your visa, all of that, because you don't want to have to come back to your country. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you found all these tips helpful. And if you would like me to make another video on this topic or something similar, please let me know, and I would be happy to do so.
Where's the size?